we are learning centered zipper, or people call railroad zipper. When it's finished, it looks like a 1/4 inch wide stitch around the corner with corner square stitching. Go back. Uh, it's called centered zipper. You will prepare 3 inches by 10 inches, and you have 3/4 seam allowance. You will first using basting stitch. In Juki, it's at number 4 to 5 big stitches. As we learned before, basting stitch is for temporary, and we will remove after we finish the work. So you turn to basting stitch and stitch all the way to zipper end, and then stop. And you will switch to regular 2.5 to 3 stitches. And when you start to regular stitching, remember to reverse stitch first, because below the zipper end, it's going to be a regular zipper seam, and we need to make sure it's durable. So change it to regular stitching, a stitch reverse, and then continue all the way and reverse stitch. Press the seam open. At the same time, you can clip using your small scissors or seam ripper, and you can clip like every 2 inches of a clip and stop at the zipper end. Cut the thread. Clip, clip, clip. Okay. Press seam open. Okay. And place your zipper match, center of zipper match the seam. Okay. And then pin center match seams, center the seams, and pin horizontally. And pin the other side as well. Okay. The reason you pin horizontally, because when you sew, you can sew over it without breaking the needle. But not pin it vertical, pin it horizontally. Okay. On the front, okay, you could apply hand stitching as a sew guide. So you could hand stitch. If you're afraid you might stitch uneven, you could hand stitch first as a guide. So a rectangle. And then when you're ready to sew, you're using machine stitch, you will stitch next to the hand basting. Okay. You can use this zipper foot, or you can use the single. So you can sew right a perfect 1/4 inch. You will not be able to use the regular zipper foot because it's too wide, and you're gonna sew it unevenly. So I suggest and remind you to switch your zipper foot to the cording foot, or the one side only. Okay, and leave your needle in the corner. Leave your pressing foot. Turn, just like we learned the square stitching. Leave your pressing foot up. Press the foot up and leave your needle in the corner. and turn, and then finish with reverse stitching. So here's the finished one looks like. This is called center zipper or railroad. After you stitch, you can use a seam ripper and then remove your basting stitch. That's how earlier we clip, like every 2 inches we clip, so easier for us to remove the basting, and then you can open your center zipper.